Most people believe that taking vitamin D is simple. You swallow a pill, and your body gets what it needs. But what if I told you that millions of seniors are taking vitamin D every single day, and their bodies aren't absorbing most of it? The surprising part is, this has nothing to do with the quality of your supplement. It has everything to do with when you take it, what you take it with, and one simple mistake that almost everyone makes. And here's what's really interesting. Many seniors actually feel better when they adjust just one small habit around their vitamin D routine, even if they've been taking it for years. Stay with me, because near the end, I'll reveal the simplest daily adjustment that can actually make a noticeable difference, even if you're 65, 75, or beyond. Before we go any further, I'd love to hear from you. Where are you watching from today? And if you'd like, you can also share your age. It's amazing to see seniors from all over the world learning together. And while you're typing, I'd love to know, are you currently taking vitamin D? If so, how long have you been taking it? Your experience might help someone else watching this video right now. Thank you for sharing. It's wonderful to connect with all of you. Now let's dive into what's really happening when you take vitamin D and why the most common advice often misses the most important details. In the next few minutes, you'll discover one timing mistake that quietly reduces how much vitamin D your body actually uses. A simple pairing that helps your body absorb vitamin D more effectively. What most seniors misunderstand about vitamin D and energy levels. Why taking vitamin D alone might not give you the results you're hoping for. And a surprising tip at the end that many people only learn after talking to their doctor, but you won't have to wait for that. Make sure you stay until the very end, because the final tip is often the one people wish they'd known years ago. And if you spot one thing in this video that surprises you, leave a quick comment. I love reading your insights and experiences. Your knowledge matters just as much as what I'm sharing today. Let's start with what most people don't realize about vitamin D. Here's something seniors rarely hear, but it matters after 60. Vitamin D isn't actually a vitamin in the traditional sense. It behaves more like a hormone in your body. And just like hormones, it needs the right conditions to work properly. Think about it this way. Imagine you're watering a plant, but the soil is too hard for the water to soak in. The water just runs off the surface. That's similar to what happens when you take vitamin D without the right support. Your body can't fully absorb it or use it effectively. Now, this doesn't mean your supplement is bad. It just means your body needs a little help to make the most of it. So what does vitamin D actually need? First, it's a fat-soluble vitamin. That means it dissolves in fat, not water. If you take vitamin D on an empty stomach, or with just a glass of water, your body struggles to absorb it properly. Here's a simple step you can start today. Take your vitamin D with a meal that contains some healthy fat. This could be a handful of nuts, a slice of avocado, a spoonful of olive oil in your salad, even a small piece of cheese. You don't need a large meal. Just something with a little fat helps your body absorb the vitamin D much more effectively. If you try this, let me know how it feels. You can even share your age or city in the comments. I'd love to see how seniors from different places are adjusting their routines. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Timing matters too, and that's what most people get wrong. Let's talk about that next. The timing mistake that almost everyone makes. This is where most seniors get confused. Many people take their vitamin D first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, thinking it's best to get it done early. But remember what we just learned, vitamin D needs fat to be absorbed. So if you're taking it with just water at 6 a.m. before breakfast, your body isn't getting the full benefit. Here's a better approach. Take your vitamin D with your largest meal of the day, or whichever meal contains the most fat. For many people, that's lunch or dinner. Now, if you prefer taking it in the morning because it helps you remember, that's perfectly fine. Just make sure you're having it with breakfast, and that breakfast includes something with healthy fat. Examples of senior-friendly morning options: scrambled eggs with a little butter, yogurt with a handful of walnuts, toast with peanut butter or avocado, a small smoothie with full-fat milk or a spoonful of flaxseed. You don't need to change your entire routine. Just pair your vitamin D with food that helps your body use it. And here's something most people don't think about. Consistency matters more than perfection. If you take it at different times each day, your body never quite settles into a rhythm. Picking one meal and sticking with it helps. Most seniors actually do the opposite of what's coming up next. let's talk about why vitamin D alone might not be enough. Why vitamin D works better with a partner. Almost no one explains this clearly. Vitamin D helps your body absorb calcium from food. That's one of its main jobs. But here's the thing. Calcium needs another nutrient to get to the right places in your body. Your bones, your teeth, your muscles. That nutrient is called vitamin K2. Without enough vitamin K2, calcium can end up in places you don't want it, like your arteries or soft tissues, instead of your bones where it's needed most. Think of it like this. Vitamin D is the key that unlocks the door so calcium can come in. But vitamin K2 is like the guide that shows calcium where to go once it's inside. Now, you don't need to worry about complicated supplement routines. Many vitamin D supplements now come combined with K2. Look for labels that say D3 plus K2 or vitamin D with K2. If your current supplement doesn't have K2, you have two options. Option 1. Add K2-rich foods to your daily routine, like leafy greens, spinach, kale, broccoli. Fermented foods, like sauerkraut or natto, though natto is an acquired taste. Egg yolks, cheese. Option 2. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist about adding a K2 supplement, especially if you're already taking vitamin D. Here's a simple, realistic step. Next time you're refilling your vitamin D, check the label. If it doesn't include K2, consider switching to one that does. It's a small change that can make a real difference. If you've heard of K2 before, or if this is brand new to you, drop a comment. I'd love to know where you're at in your health journey. But there's still one more piece of the puzzle, and it has to do with something most seniors already deal with every day. Let's talk about that now. What magnesium has to do with vitamin D? Here's something that often surprises people. Your body needs magnesium to activate vitamin D. Without enough magnesium, the vitamin D you're taking stays in an inactive form. It's in your body, but it's not working the way it should. And here's the challenge. Many seniors don't get enough magnesium from their diet. It's one of the most common nutrient gaps, especially as we age. Signs you might be low in magnesium include muscle cramps, especially at night, feeling more tired than usual, trouble sleeping, occasional constipation. Now, this doesn't mean you should rush out and start taking magnesium supplements without talking to your doctor first. Too much magnesium, especially certain types, can cause digestive discomfort. But you can start by adding magnesium-rich foods to your daily meals. Almonds, cashews, or pumpkin seeds, just a small handful. Leafy greens like spinach. Whole grains like brown rice or oatmeal. Bananas. Dark chocolate. Yes, really, a small square counts. If you're considering a magnesium supplement, look for forms like magnesium glycinate or magnesium citrate, which are gentler on the stomach. And always check with your doctor, especially if you're taking other medications. Here's the simple takeaway. Vitamin D, vitamin K2, and magnesium work together as a team. When one is missing, the others can't do their job as well. Has this changed how you think about your daily routine? Share your thoughts below. I read every comment. Now, let's talk about something that might surprise you even more. If this video is already helping you understand your body a little better, tapping the like button helps other seniors discover this too. And I love reading your comments. Whether you're just starting to learn about vitamin D, or you've been taking it for years, your experience matters. It helps others who are watching. So if you haven't already, share where you're from, your age if you're comfortable, and what you've learned so far. I'll be reading through the comments later today. Now, let's keep going, because we're about to talk about one of the biggest misunderstandings around vitamin D and energy. The truth about vitamin D and energy levels. Most people believe that taking vitamin D will instantly boost their energy. And when that doesn't happen right away, they get discouraged. Here's what's really going on. Vitamin D does play a role in how your body produces energy at the cellular level. It supports your muscles, your immune system, and even your mood. But it's not a quick fix. Think of it like tending a garden. You don't plant seeds today and see flowers tomorrow. It takes time, consistency, and the right conditions. Research suggests it can take anywhere from 8 to 12 weeks of consistent vitamin D supplementation before you start noticing changes in how you feel. Especially if your levels were low to begin with. That's why many seniors give up too soon. They take vitamin D for a few weeks, don't feel different, and stop. But the benefits are building quietly in the background. Here's what realistic progress might look like. Weeks 1 to 4. You might not notice much at all. That's normal. Weeks 5 to 8. You might start feeling a little steadier or notice your mood is a bit more balanced. Weeks 9 to 12. This is often when people notice improvements in energy, muscle strength, or overall resilience. Now, here's the important part. Vitamin D isn't magic. If you're also dealing with poor sleep, lack of movement, or chronic stress, those things will affect your energy too. Vitamin D is one piece of the puzzle, not the whole picture. Simple step. Give your vitamin D routine at least 3 months before deciding whether it's making a difference. And during that time, keep taking it consistently, with fat, ideally with K2, and while supporting your magnesium intake. If you're currently taking vitamin D, how long have you been at it? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious to hear where everyone is in their journey. But the next point is something almost no one talks about. Let's dive into that now. Why your vitamin D dose might be too low or too high. Here's where most seniors get stuck. They buy a vitamin D supplement off the shelf, take the recommended dose on the bottle, and assume that's what their body needs. But everyone's needs are different. Some seniors need 1,000 IU per day. Others need 2,000, 4,000, or even more, depending on their starting levels, where they live, how much sun exposure they get, and their overall health. The only way to know what you need is to get your vitamin D levels tested. This is a simple blood test that your doctor can order. It's called a 25-hydroxy vitamin D test. Here's what the results might look like. Deficient, below 20 nanograms per milliliter. Insufficient, 20 to 30 nanograms per milliliter. Sufficient, 30 to 50 nanograms per milliliter. Optimal, for many people 40 to 60 nanograms per milliliter. If your levels are very low, your doctor might recommend a higher dose for a few weeks or months to bring them up, and then a lower maintenance dose after that. Taking too little vitamin D means you're not getting the benefits. But taking too much, especially without monitoring, can lead to imbalances over time, particularly with calcium. Here's the simple, realistic step. If you've never had your vitamin D levels tested, ask your doctor about it at your next visit. Even if you've been taking vitamin D for years, it's worth checking to make sure your dose is right for you. And if your doctor recommends a specific dose, follow it. Don't assume more is always better. If you've had your levels tested, drop a comment and let others know. It might encourage someone else to get checked too. Most seniors actually do the opposite of what's coming up. Let's talk about sunlight next. The sunlight question everyone asks. Here's something seniors rarely hear, but it matters. Yes, your body can make vitamin D from sunlight. In fact, that's how humans got most of their vitamin D for thousands of years, long before supplements existed. But here's the reality for most seniors today. As you age, your skin becomes less efficient at producing vitamin D from sunlight. A 70-year-old skin makes about 75% less vitamin D from the same amount of sun exposure compared to a 20-year-old. Add to that, many seniors spend more time indoors. Sunscreen, which is important for skin protection, blocks vitamin D production. In northern climates, especially in winter, the sun isn't strong enough to trigger vitamin D production, even if you're outside. So while sunlight is still beneficial, it helps with mood, sleep, and overall well-being. Most seniors can't rely on it alone to maintain healthy vitamin D levels. Here's a balanced approach. Get outside for 10 to 15 minutes a day when the weather is nice, especially in the morning. This helps with your circadian rhythm and mood. Don't skip sunscreen if you're out longer, especially on your face and hands. Continue taking your vitamin D supplement consistently, since sunlight alone likely isn't enough. Think of sunlight as a bonus, not a replacement. If you live somewhere sunny year-round, you might have an easier time. But if you're in Canada, the northern US, or the UK, supplements become even more important during fall and winter. Where are you watching from? Do you get much sun where you live? I'd love to hear from seniors in different climates. Now, we're getting close to the end, but there's still one more myth we need to clear up. Does the type of vitamin D matter? Almost no one explains this clearly. If you look at vitamin D supplements, you'll see two main types, D2 and D3. Here's the difference. Vitamin D2, ergocalciferol, this comes from plant sources, like mushrooms. It's less stable and doesn't stay in your body as long. Vitamin D3, cholecalciferol, this comes from animal sources, or is synthesized to match what your body makes from sunlight. It's more effective and stays active in your body longer. Most doctors and researchers recommend vitamin D3 because it raises and maintains blood levels more effectively than D2. So when you're choosing a supplement, look for vitamin D3 on the label. If you're vegetarian or vegan, there are now plant-based D3 options made from lichen, so you don't have to choose between your values and your health. Here's the simple takeaway. If you're taking D2 and wondering why you're not noticing much difference, consider switching to D3. It's a small change, but it can make your supplementation more effective. If you've switched from D2 to D3, or if you've always used D3, let me know in the comments. Your experience might help someone else. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Let's talk about one of the most misunderstood habits. The one habit that quietly undermines everything. Remember at the beginning, when I mentioned that millions of seniors are taking vitamin D the wrong way. Here's what it all comes down to. Most people think of vitamin D as a standalone pill. They take it once, maybe in the morning, maybe at night, whenever they remember. Sometimes with food, sometimes without. Sometimes they forget for a few days, then double up to catch up. But here's the truth. Consistency and context matter more than the pill itself. Vitamin D isn't a quick fix. It's part of a larger system, a system that includes taking it with fat so your body can absorb it, pairing it with vitamin K2 so calcium goes to the right places, supporting it with magnesium so it can activate properly, giving it time, weeks, not days, to build up in your system, getting your levels tested so you know your dose is right, staying consistent day after day, even when you don't feel immediate changes. When seniors tell me, I tried vitamin D and it didn't work, this is almost always what happened. They took it sporadically, on an empty stomach, without any supporting nutrients, for only a few weeks, and then gave up. And that's not their fault. No one teaches this. Most advice just says, take vitamin D. But they don't tell you how to take it for it to actually work. Think of it like this. You wouldn't water a plant once and expect it to thrive for a month. You water it regularly. Make sure it has good soil, give it the right amount of light, and then you wait patiently for it to grow. Your body is the same way. Now it makes sense, doesn't it? This is why small changes in daily life can feel so powerful, not because any one step is magical, but because they all work together. Has this changed how you think about your daily routine? Share your thoughts below. I read every comment. Now, there's still one more important insight, and it may surprise you more than anything else we've discussed today. So far, we've covered why vitamin D needs fat to be absorbed, the importance of pairing it with K2 and magnesium, why timing and consistency matter, how long it really takes to notice results, why D3 is better than D2, and why sunlight alone isn't enough for most seniors. But there's still one more important insight, something simple, something you can do today, and it may surprise you more than anything else we've discussed. The simplest change that makes the biggest difference. Here it is. If you do nothing else from this entire video, do this one thing. Set a daily reminder on your phone to take your vitamin D with your main meal. That's it. Not first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. Not randomly whenever you remember. Not doubled up when you forget. Just once a day, at the same meal, with food that has some fat in it. Why does this matter so much? Because the biggest reason vitamin D doesn't work for people is simple. They forget to take it consistently. Life gets busy. Days blend together. And before you know it, you've missed 3 days, then a week, then you give up. But if your phone reminds you every day at the same time, let's say 6 p.m., right before dinner, it becomes part of your routine. And routines stick. Here's how to do it. Open your phone's clock or reminder app. Set a daily alarm for the same time every day, ideally around your largest meal. Label it something simple like vitamin D with dinner. When the alarm goes off, take your vitamin D with your meal. That's it. No complicated system. No expensive gadgets. Just one small daily habit. And here's what's beautiful about it. Once it becomes automatic, you stop thinking about it. It just happens. And 3 months from now, you'll look back and realize you've been consistent for the first time in years. I'd love to hear if you try this. Let me know in the comments what time of day you're setting your reminder and what meal you're pairing it with. It might inspire someone else to do the same. No matter your age, your body can still improve. You don't need to do everything perfectly. You don't need to overhaul your entire life. You just need to take small, consistent steps in the right direction. Progress comes from doing the simple things, like taking your vitamin D with food, pairing it with the right nutrients, and giving it time, over and over again. Be kind to yourself. If you miss a day, just start again the next day. If you forget your reminder, set it again. If you've been doing things differently, that's okay. Now you know a better way. Improvement is always possible. It doesn't matter if you're 55, 65, 75, or 85. Your body is still listening. It's still responding. It's still capable of feeling better, stronger, and more resilient. And remember, you're not alone in this. Thousands of seniors are watching this video, learning the same things, making the same small adjustments. You're all part of a community that's choosing to take care of themselves, one simple step at a time. If you enjoy learning simple, senior-friendly ways to support your health, please subscribe. I share new videos like this regularly, practical, honest, and always with your well-being in mind. And if you'd like, tell me in the comments. Which part of today's video stood out the most? What's one small change you're going to try tomorrow? Where are you watching from? And how long have you been taking vitamin D? I read every comment, and I love hearing from you. Your experience helps others who are watching. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.